Hey everyone, we are going to be starting our next unit, which is going to be all about momentum and impulse. And this follows our texting and driving unit, which is all about motion. All right, our first lesson is just a quick little intro one, all about momentum. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just start to click through. All right, so we're going to start by talking about what is momentum. So we have the example, if we had a bowling ball that was rolling with a velocity of 4 meters per second and a ping pong ball also rolling with a velocity of 4 meters per second, our question is, which would be easier to stop? Which ball would you rather be in the way of? Take a second to kind of think through it. Instinctively, you already know that the ping pong ball is going to be way easier to stop than the bowling ball. But why is that exactly? This is where we get into that idea of momentum, right? Um, my little face over. Okay, now with momentum, obviously it's clear that you would rather be in front of the ball that has less mass. So we know that mass is a big part to do with this question. We can use a secondary example. What would you rather be in the way of? A bowling ball that's moving with a velocity of 1 meter per second, so like pretty slow, kind of like a walking speed, or a bowling ball that's coming at you with a velocity of 100 meters per second. It's basically like a bullet. Obviously, you'd want the um, slower moving bowling ball, which also shows us that mass has something to do with this question. Sorry, that velocity has something to do with this question. So we have both mass and velocity are both necessary to understanding momentum. Now, we even have a little formula for helping us calculate momentum itself. Now, we know momentum is a vector quantity, meaning it is a force with motion, right? And it's always going to be working in the same direction as velocity. We represent momentum with the symbol P. P for Peter, right? Represented there. So our formula is P equals M times V, right? Otherwise known as momentum equals mass times velocity. Now we can go through a quick little example problem. Let's say if we have the momentum of a half a kilogram ball, so 0.5 kilograms, moving with the velocity of 15 meters per second. We want to know what the momentum is. We plug that into our formula. We know our formula is momentum, P, equals mass times velocity, mv. So we just get 0.5, which is our mass, multiplied by 15, which is our velocity. Multiply those together. Again, if you're doing 0.5 times anything, it's just half of it. So half of 15 is 7.5. And our units in this case are kilograms per meters per second. Again, we get that because we have the kilograms come from our mass times our meters per second, which is our unit for velocity. We can learn a little bit more by watching this more in-depth video on the characteristics of momentum and some different examples. Again, you can watch that on your own time. Now, when we're talking about momentum, it can get a little confusing when we talk about Newton's law. Some people have some misconceptions that they make because, again, we know that with Newton's first law, an object in motion will remain in motion until an outside force is applied upon it. So if we want to change the momentum of an object, we have to apply a force. The longer that we apply this force onto an object, the more the momentum of this object is going to change. Now, the misconception comes when we think about two objects colliding, right? Let's say those same two bowling balls, the one moving with or we'll say our bowling ball or ping pong ball, right? We may think that the smaller object is going to get hit harder and experience more force than the larger object. That's not necessarily the case. And that's when we're going to get into talking about impulse, which we'll talk about in our next lesson. We do have a little activity here that can help you just better understand this idea of how forces are interacting when we have collisions between two objects with momentum. So let's say if you have two bumper cars going at different speeds, they both ram into each other. You want to know how the forces are acting upon each car. Go ahead and click launch here, and that will bring you into our little interactive activity. To just kind of sum up this lesson, I have 5 short multiple choice questions for you at the bottom of this lesson. Go ahead, click on those, and that will wrap you up. And by finishing that, just helps me know that you are keeping track with our school closure lessons. All right, everyone, hope you're doing well. Please email me if you guys have any questions. Again, keep up with these new lessons, but also make sure that you have completed all missing work from our previous units.